Get your business right. They know the customer experience isn't just another thing, it's the only thing. Let's join Angel and Eric for today's program.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Experience Pros Radio Show with Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer. Very nice to have you along with us today. Beautiful day in our neighborhood as the one storm has moved on and getting ready to enjoy a nice warm spell for a couple, 3 days here in the Denver market. And then, of course, we'll be back to cold by the weekend. Nice to have you along with us. Angel is still under the weather, so you've got me, and I invite you to join the program however you would like. There's a couple of different ways you can engage with the show live, and that is to call 303-632-4160. That's 303-632-4160. Anything you want to talk about, you can jump in and join the conversation. Or if you'd like, we've got a video going on our our Facebook Live, and you can use comments and join the conversation that way. I will see those comments, and we will engage with you along those lines as well. Just give you a little update, a state of small business as we round into a new year. And, you know, it's one of those things that we want to understand what small business owners are really looking for. What's on small business owners' minds? And so I thought maybe we'd take a little peek at a report that I found on allbusiness.com. And there's 15 of these that I don't know that we'll have the opportunity to get through all of them, but we will move into a conversation about some of them. And here's the first one that business owners want to know, and what they're interested in, the things that are of importance to them. One of the challenges that business owners face, we're talking about hiring new employees, increasing their profits, and healthcare selected as the top 3 challenges that they are facing. And if you think about it, not much has changed for a number of years in that regard. The hiring of new employees is always going to be one of those challenges, especially when you come from the space of startup or entrepreneur and move into the space of established business owners. And in many ways, once you become an established business owner, that's just the beginning of the challenges that face you, because when you're established, that means your profit margin is growing. Now we'll talk about how to extend that, how to make that profit margin larger than it is today. But indeed, you're also dealing with more staff, more employees, almost exclusively. There's very few models that scale without the need for human intervention. And so when you come across that time to hire new employees, and maybe we'll do a segment here on the program today, a little bit about how do you know when it's time to go and hire a new employee? What kinds of things do you do? At what point do you consider outsourcing versus, subcontracting or hiring an employee? And sometimes it's not up to you. In fact, there are many times that the IRS comes in and lays down the rules and says, here's what you got to look at. And, either they're an employee or they're a subcontractor. There are different tax ramifications for both sides of those. We'll talk about that a little more. And of course, healthcare. Healthcare will continue to be the biggest challenge that we have. Back in 2015, only 29% cited healthcare as a top challenge for what they were doing. Now, keep in mind, Obamacare had just kicked in, and there was a confused excitement. Can I say it that way? Kind of a confused excitement about what all that meant and what it meant on behalf of the business owners. And I say confused excitement because even the people who sold the Obamacare package, the Affordable Care Act, they are as confused as just about anybody as to really what's happening. Now, several years into it, we know that it's not affordable at all. We know that there's huge concern with what it means to an employee not to have health care or an individual not to have health care. but let's talk about what it means to the companies not to provide it. You are probably losing out on great talent opportunities if you're not providing health care. But you say, well, I can't afford the health care. Take a number, get in line. I mean, we all have that same issue. And that's one of the things that is one of the top challenges for business owners running into 2018. And by the way, from 29% in 2015, 43% in 2016, 62% in 17 called it a massive concern for them. This issue of what to do with healthcare, in large part because the premiums continue to escalate, way outpacing the cost of living. We're talking almost double, triple, quadrupling the rates depending on what the services are that you get. So healthcare really big time on the minds of what's going on. Confidence in the economy is actually up these days. Confidence in the economy under President Trump is at recent highs. I'm not going to say record highs, but the Dow Jones Industrial Average is at all-time high. We know that the markets are strong in a lot of ways. The small business sector is loosening the purse strings and participating in not just economic recovery, but economic stimulus and growth. So we like that. Let's talk a little bit about the government for just a minute. This is not a political show, but it doesn't matter which side of the political fence you land on. Not a lot of love for the government on either side. We feel like, and many times, the small business owners feel like the government doesn't understand them, doesn't get their issues, doesn't feel their pain. And in large part, it's probably because they don't. I can't speak for Mr. Trump personally. I know that he's a businessman. I know that he has a great understanding, wants to see small business across America, which is the backbone of the American economy, wants to see that grow and thrive. But across the boards, 50% of the people do not believe that the government doesn't do enough to support U.S. small businesses. And only about 25% actually feels like they do. Let's see, what else are we looking at here? Another thing that's really boggling and spending a lot of time on small business owners' minds is marketing, and especially marketing budgets. And let's just call it what it is: non-existent marketing budgets. Most marketing budgets are so small that it is embarrassing. 9% invest nothing in marketing. 25% invest 1 to 3% of their revenue, and only 29% invest 4 to 6%. Now, if you ask anybody who is a strategist in the marketing arena, they will tell you that you should be between 8 and 10%, always of your gross revenue, not your net of your gross revenue. You should be 8 and 10% adjusted towards your marketing. Why is it that small business owners want to cut corners on the one thing that really helps them tell their story? That is a question for maybe another segment here on today's show. Most small business owners tend to not want to invest in themselves and in their business. Rather, they want to cut corners in this one arena. And as Angel and I will tell you over and over and over again, there is no shortcut